2023 is full of rapid advancements in artificial intelligence. Are businesses in the region ready for the future of AI? I discussed this and more with IBM Asia Pacific General Manager Paul Burton. Paul, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. First of all, is artificial intelligence now as smart as humans?
No.
No.
But it's making progress. Artificial intelligence doesn't have the creativity and is not able to exercise the judgment or deal with all the subtleties or the nuances that a human mind can deal with. And it's probably not going to be able to do that in our lifetime, would be my guess. So we got a ways to go. It's not going to take over the world anytime soon.
Okay, that's good news, because there are a lot of fears that artificial intelligence will eventually attain or be at par with cognitive human abilities.
It may be, but not for a while.
Why not for a while?
Well, again, they haven't developed the science to the point where it can exercise judgment, discretion, and creativity the way a human can. And so, obviously, folks are working on that, but they're just not there yet.
But how is it best to harness the benefits of generative artificial intelligence?
Well, I think the best way to look at that is to look at tasks that you want to automate that can be automated as a human would do it, but using artificial intelligence or code essentially to do that. We're using large language models, or what we call foundation models, to automate and provide human qualities to certain tasks. So when you're interacting with a chatbot or an agent, I like the word agent a little bit better, it is almost human-like. But again, the discretion, the creativity, the judgment that you would get from interacting with a person, you and I, for example, is going to be missing from that interaction. But otherwise, it will be quite lifelike and quite robust.
And lifelike, robust, can we also ensure that AI is trustworthy, fair, and aligned with human values?
We can, but it takes effort and work. And so when you're building your models and you're curating data to train the models, you have to take precautions such that the data that you inject or that you train the model on is free of hate, is free of bias, and is consistent or commensurate with human values as you describe it. So that doesn't happen automatically. It requires effort. And of course, we provide tools and we provide methodologies that help our clients do exactly that.
And of course, artificial intelligence has been with us for many, many years now, but it has become front and center because of ChatGPT. What are the dangers and risks as a result of ChatGPT?
Well, again, I think there's now a keen focus on governance because as artificial intelligence starts producing answers or responses to human interactions, you want to have confidence. You want to be able to trust those responses. You want to have confidence, and you can't do that if the entire process of building and training and deploying the model is done in a black box. So we try to bring that out into the open. We try to make it trustworthy and transparent, and so that you can be happy and comfortable with the result.
But Paul, as we move forward with the development of artificial intelligence, should there be also like a research pause, as some people are advocating?
A research
pause? Development pause of artificial intelligence?
No, I think the development should go full speed. The deployment should be taken, perhaps a little bit slowly to make sure that you're comfortable with the results that are being produced. But why shouldn't we learn as fast as we can?
And is this a threat to people's jobs, artificial intelligence? I mean, there are reports, according to the World Economic Forum, that around 85 million jobs could be replaced by AI, while Goldman Sachs also said 300 million jobs could be lost as a result of the progression of AI.
Well, jobs have come and gone over the years. We don't have elevator operators anymore. We don't, spin wool by hand anymore, and all those people ended up with jobs, but they ended up with new jobs. I think the best way to look at artificial intelligence is that it's going to augment existing jobs and make people more productive, and it's also going to create new jobs that don't exist today. So I think the net increase for jobs will be positive, and AI is not going to change that. If anything, AI is going to create better, higher paying jobs with greater satisfaction for the employee.
Create better and higher paying jobs. It means that like Filipinos who fear about the entry of artificial intelligence and ChatGPT have to reskill and upskill from their current skill sets.
Well, I think one of the data points is out there is that probably 40% of the workforce will have to develop new skills or reskill, as you describe it. So change is inevitable. But it's not bad change. You know, the world evolves, we evolve, we have to move forward, and the opportunity to learn new skills and do new things should be welcomed.
What about for IBM Asia Pacific? Are you retraining, reskilling, upskilling your personnel as a result of artificial intelligence?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're not only are we training IBMers, upskilling and retraining them, we've started education academies throughout the region. We're training over 2 million people in the next 2 years on artificial intelligence. That's a worldwide statement. We're training thousands of people every 5 or 6 months in Asia Pacific in a 5 or 6 month hybrid cloud and AI academy.
What about Filipinos? What are you doing to help them to upskill and reskill with the changing times as a result of artificial intelligence?
Well, we're working with our partners to upskill them so that they can take artificial intelligence and generative AI to their clients. We have university outreach going on where we're looking to participate in educational programs for the same purpose. We have our Skills Build program, like I said, where we're going to train 2 million people in the next couple of years. So it's a multi-pronged effort across different dimensions.
Well, most of Filipino enterprises, whether it be micro, small, medium, and large corporations, eventually have to embrace artificial intelligence, whether they like it or not.
They're all going to have to embrace it. They're all going to have to embrace it. You know, what's going on with artificial intelligence is companies that don't just put their toe in the water, but embrace it fully, they're starting to see significant performance gaps, or pardon me, significant productivity improvements, which is opening a performance gap between themselves and other companies. Even if the other companies catch on and start copying it, they're not going to close that gap because once it's open, it's there. They can just keep pace at that point. And so companies are looking at this and they don't want to be left behind. So they're embracing it, they're doing pilot programs, they're reimagining business processes. They're in a hurry to get this done, but it's not an easy task. It requires creativity, it requires judgment, it requires imagination, of course it requires skills.
And how can this improve economic growth for a third world country like the Philippines?
Well, there's some data out there that suggests that there's $4 trillion being added to world GDP each year, and there's another data point that says over $20 trillion by 2030. And so when you see that, I mean, those are big numbers. When you see those numbers being added to the world economy in terms of GDP through productivity, all countries are participating in that, some more than others. But the Philippines is catching on. They're moving in the right direction.
And in terms of investments, is IBM making more investments here in the country?
IBM continues to invest in the Philippines. The big thing is educational outreach, skills, bringing use cases and specific pilot opportunities to companies, particularly in banking, manufacturing are two good industries, and of course government.
And how many companies right now is IBM supporting in terms of solutions, technology solutions in the Philippines?
Dozens.
And will that increase?
I'm not going to break any news in terms of specific companies for you. I know you keep pushing me on that point, but yes, it will increase. But again, companies need to embrace it, and they need to get past the point where they're just exploring with it, and they start to actually change their business models by implementing it and chasing the productivity gains.
Of course, Paul, we've seen President Bongbong Marcos making several trips now to the United States. He is trying to attract more American companies to invest in the country. Do you think he's pushing the right buttons in terms of attracting more American companies like IBM to invest in the country and to, increase their investments in the country?
Yeah, I think he's been quite elegant and quite deep in his discussion over technology, digitization, and of course artificial intelligence. Obviously, you can always do more, and we would love to see him do more. But I think he's doing the right things, and I think what he's saying is being heard. We're paying attention.
And an ASEAN guide on AI governance and ethics is currently being worked on. How important is it that it needs to be launched and implemented?
As I understand it, the 10 ASEAN countries are putting together the guide. They're going to take it to the digital ministers next year. It's very important because as artificial intelligence, generative AI becomes more ubiquitous in enterprises, government, and in the public, it needs to be trusted and embraced. The first bad experience you have, if it goes public, it can be very damaging. So I think the key is good governance, good data practices, and transparency.
IBM Asia Pacific General Manager Paul Burton, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word.
Thank you.